Hey everybody, come on in. I'm just making sure that we're up. I'm trying something new, so I'm not sure how it's going to mess me up. This new function on the new menu on Facebook is messing me up. It's making it hard for me to navigate around and get to my page. Let's see here. I just want to make sure that we're up on Facebook and on YouTube. But thanks for coming. This is the Daily Bern. We're going to start in just a minute. Come on in. I usually play music and do like a little intro when we get going, but like I said, I'm trying to make sure. There we go. We are up and we're good. So let me share this. And if you're just getting here, you please share and hit like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. And click the little bell and you'll get notified when we post new videos. But this is the Daily Burn, so come on in. You're just getting to see what I usually do when I sit here and I share the show during the music. This is what I usually hide behind the music and do. I don't know why my phone is so slow. But come on in. This is the Daily Burn. Looks like we got some people coming in on Facebook. Like and share, get this out because I'm having trouble sharing. I am having trouble navigating this new little menu on Facebook. It is giving me fits. But if you could share for me, I'd really appreciate it on Facebook. So, because we have a special guest today. We have a guest coming into the war room today. But I'm going to do a short little burn because tomorrow is a very important day. So, hey, everybody, welcome back to the Daily Burn. What this is the war room of the political revolution. And we gather here every day at 7 and we talk about this fight and we motivate and encourage each other moving forward towards victory, which is where we're heading. You know, we have come so far, guys. Take a minute and just soak that in a bit. And we have done amazing work. And tomorrow it all pays off. We get to flex tomorrow. We get to show our strength and get to send a message to the establishment that we are coming for our country. But we have to overwhelm them tomorrow. We have to realize that winning, unfortunately, isn't enough. So those that gather here understand that. And those that gather here, hey, Lindsay, understand that we are in a fight. This is a fight. This is a battle. This is a revolution. I've been asked before to back away from that, to quit calling it a fight, to shy away from it somehow. But I don't see the point in that. It is a fight. We are in a fight. This is class warfare, literally is. To ignore that is to make it impossible to ever progress forward because you're turning a blind eye to what your real enemy is and to what's really going on. But like I said, please help me share because, like I said, we have a special guest tonight, and I'm inviting a bellow burner into the war room. So, without further ado, let's go ahead. And now that I know that we're up and good everywhere, let's go ahead and I'm going to switch and bring him in. So, let me see. I want to see that the audio is working. So let me say something to our guest. This is our guest Matt, and let me see if the audio is working. Just go ahead and speak. I'll unmute you. I don't know that you can hear me. Maybe you couldn't hear me. Now can you hear me?
Yeah, I couldn't hear any of your intro or your beginning rant.
You know what
So,
I think I did? I think I muted me and not you.
oh God,
I
that's not a
never
good start.
I never use Skype, man. I only use this program when I do interviews on my friend's podcast. That's all I ever use it for.
We lost our whole audience.
Hey,
You can
Jack.
edit it later.
Jack, is Matt audible? Can you hear Matt? Or do I need to play him through my microphone? That's the only thing I didn't know about this. So when Jack answers me, Jack will let me know.
Sure.
He's hitting the like button, so he's saying your audio's good. So we're good.
Excellent.
This is Matt, and He is a special guest today in the War Room because tomorrow is a huge day. Tomorrow is Super Tuesday, which we are expected to crush because of everything that we've done in this revolution and all of our work. So I thought we'd bring him into to the War Room today to tell us a little bit about his involvement in the revolution, what it means to him, and we'll just get started
Yes.
there.
Thanks for having me, Sean. Tomorrow is the probably the biggest day in progressive history in America. I'm confident in that, and I wanted to tell you we talked a bit off before the show, and I wanted to tell you that I'm really happy about what you do, and I know what you do is difficult because I in 2016 was doing the same thing that you were doing. Probably not as professional, not picking a Daily Bern name for my show, but I did a podcast. So I'm really happy to be on your show, and I'm also happy for what you do. And tomorrow, I think it's important that what you do because there's so many people around the country who are in more conservative states, who are feeling lonely and feel like outcasts, being supporters of Bernie Sanders. And this show, to me, and hopefully more shows down the road, give these people confidence and the support and make them feel less lonely in a movement and a revolution that can sometimes feel scary. But tomorrow should be the most progressive day in American history. That is my prediction, in my opinion. And then when we get Bernie elected again, that will be the most progressive day in history. So if you're out there and you're feeling lonely, or you live around moderates, or I told you I'm in a union, and most of the people are moderate in a union. So that can be very scary and unsettling when you're a Bernie Sanders supporter and they're not, and they're in a union. You're like, how could you not be for Bernie Sanders? It boggles the mind. So I can't imagine what it feels like to live in an Iowa or a South Carolina or any state where you feel like you are outnumbered and you are bullied. We want to make sure that we have a show that makes you feel confident in your stance and in the revolution. So I love what you do. I've watched it. You have a much better vibe than I do. I have a much more Bernie bro vibe, which I don't mind. I'm reclaiming the Bernie bro vibe and in saying that I'm an all-inclusive fighter against bullies and cowards who don't want to help the sick and the poor. And I hope that anybody who calls me a Bernie bro, I can do a better job. I can be a better person than the person calling me Bernie bro. That is my new goal, my new reclaiming that name. I know why they use the name. I embrace that name. You want to call me a Bernie bro, that's fine. But I am an all-inclusive fighter for the sick and the poor. That's who I am. That's what a Bernie bro is.
I take it as a compliment, as a matter of fact. I,
Yes.
I find that I've met a lot of people through this revolution, through this movement, and most of them are very caring, very educated, very informed people that want to make a difference. So that is inspiring. And then you were right. I didn't see a show out there putting that message forth. I saw a lot of truth, but not a lot of people out there telling people, you're doing the right thing. We're heading in the right direction. This is how you make change happen. If you keep moving forward, you can win. So there needed to be something like that. And that's what
or
I've been
you
trying.
or you feel like that show is not talking to you. Maybe this show, me and Sean, maybe it doesn't speak to people. Maybe it doesn't talk to people. So find that show. But it certainly doesn't feel like the Young Turks is my show. They seem very snobbish. There's a weird air, that typical sort of a I'm better than you kind of air. I don't want to have that air. I'm a human. I'm the same as you. We bleed. We feel sadness. And hopefully the compassion and the empathy is something more we can emote through this broadcast, that we're fighting for the sick and the poor. We're fighting for people to be not to fight bigots, to fight prejudice. Everything that we're fighting for does the Bernie Bro label is done to make you fearful, to make you look bad. And you know what? What I'm doing is of the greatest importance on this planet. We're trying to save the planet, right? We're out here trying to save the planet. We want everybody to be in the circle. We take all people, gay, straight, lesbian, bisexual, the whole community, the whole LGBTQ community. We embrace them. We're not misogynists. We're fighting for the poor woman, the poor black woman, the poor Native American Indian. We're fighting for them. So I take great pride in being called a Bernie bro because I know why they're trying to do it. They're trying to, downplay our revolution, our movement. So
And they're taking
again,
away the fact that 60% of our supporters are female,
right?
which is a statistical fact.
I mean, statistically across the board, if you looked at the numbers, you should be so confident this time. So again, you brought me on 2016. I jumped into the campaign early. I was in 2015 making phone calls in New York City so that we were trying to get people to change their party affiliation so they could vote in the primary. This is 2015. We were struggling to make 40,000 phone calls. We were struggling. It was a struggle. It was like I was like, oh, this is not a good sign. Today they've made over 10 million phone calls. I don't even know where the number is. You've seen the
That's
donations.
amazing.
He's $46 million. And again, everything that we see that's going on, if you're confused about what's going on, don't be afraid to ask questions here. Again, safe zone, man. If you want questions and you're like, I'm confused about what's going on, we'll answer it. If you want to fight us, I'm willing to fight. If someone comes on who's a troll, I love them too. I embrace it all because I'm ready. I'm ready for the fight. I was built for this. I'm so ready. I am, 4 years later, we made it through. We made it through Trump, and to see the DNC fight Bernie and try to stop Bernie after people have been tortured for 4 years by Trump. It's unconscionable. I can't even speak to it. It's so hard to fathom what's going on out there. So if you're fearful, if you're lonely, if you feel strange in the revolution, if you have questions, this is the show you come to. And when I watch your show, I love your vibe. It's always like, come in. We want you. You got questions. You're scared. You're poor. You're lonely. Whatever your sexuality is, we're here. We're here to fight for you. And that's the way this movement should feel. So again, I don't get to see the comments,
Well,
Sean.
let me
So
tell you, because we do have a lot of people here actually. So let me say hi to some people that are here. But we already said hi to Jack. Hey, Jack, thanks for helping me with the audio. Hey, Steve, Heath, Brittany. There's some people here on YouTube as well. Lindsay, if you're still here. Hey, Kathy, how you doing? And then Kilo was talking about how he's nervous about tomorrow. That's something I wanted to cover today because I am
absolutely,
as
let's
well.
cover it.
And there were heavy, heavy shenanigans going on already in the early primaries this time around. But before in 2016, and we all saw that. So I and a lot of people that watch this show and are aware, like we all are, of what they will do to stop us, are nervous about tomorrow. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow,
Okay,
in your opinion?
so the biggest state is California. I think they have their acts together. They moved their primary up. Um, as of right now, no other candidate was hitting the benchmark to get delegates. So nobody was hitting the 15%. So that could change because, again, this is strategy on their side. Klobuchar and Buttigieg drop out. Steyer drops out. So he was supposed to crush in California. He was supposed to win every delegate, 400 delegates in California. That may not happen. Okay, so that might be something you should be nervous about. There may be some movement there. Um, you should be excited that he might win Texas. And if you see some of the maps being produced, Biden shouldn't win. Well, he may win a couple more states in the South. And also Bloomberg will win a couple more states in the South. And Klobuchar will win hers. But we're going to win Massachusetts. We're going to go and beat Warren, who, again, I'm not going to be negative, but again, we're going to beat Warren in her own state. And if this woman shouldn't drop out, I don't know what to say. You know the reason why she's staying in. She's staying in to collect delegates to slow Bernie
Well, it's
down.
part of a strategy. They had meetings
Yes.
about it before it started, and Buttigieg was part of that strategy as well, which makes it weird to me. That blew me away when he dropped out.
Well, they offered him something big,
Oh, I
right?
know
They
they
offered
did.
him something. There's backdoor dealing, whatever, backroom dealings, excuse me. Maybe they offered him more money or more support for the next run, or maybe he wants to run for Senate next, or what I'm saying? Look, if you want money from us, then you have to act accordingly. But the powers that be came to him and said, get out. But he also, I think he knew he was about to get his ass kicked tomorrow. So, it was going to look really bad for him tomorrow. So why stay in?
Well, I thought he would stay in
Klobuchar,
for the same reason Warren's going to stay in, to pull delegates.
but I think they got to him. And they said, look, we need to start pushing the momentum because tomorrow's victory, tomorrow's progressive victory, no matter how the shenanigans they're going to do is they're going to close polls, they're going to move things, people aren't going to be voter. It's going to be across the board. You're going to have the same stuff you had in New York City, where 100,000 people were scurried or thrown off the voter rolls in Brooklyn. I mean, that happened. That was real. That was
Oh,
DNC
I
shenanigans.
still
I mean,
try to explain that to people.
That I live here. It happened. People sued. It happened. It was real. That was not conspiracy. 100,000 people were thrown off voter rolls in Brooklyn because they knew he was going to destroy in Brooklyn. This is going to happen tomorrow. Absolutely, the numbers are not going to be as high as we wish or should be because they're going to. And shenanigans is a very polite word,
Oh, I know.
but
I try not to cuss on this particular show. I try to be good on this one because I'm doing it for the revolution and I want it to get out. And
agreed. I will try to hold my tongue. But
it's hard. I
tomorrow
slip up
it's gonna
sometimes.
it's gonna be a CF. It's gonna be you're gonna yes, absolutely. There's gonna be things happening in every state. Every state is mired in this DNC mindset. They're all puppets to money and corporations. And there's, if you look at the DNC itself is composed. The board, the people who run it, are mostly corporate lobbyists. These are facts. I'm not. This is not conspiracy. You can go and research this stuff. So I understand. Don't misunderstand. Don't be misunderstood that I don't understand. I was around for 2016. I know what they're capable of. But the numbers this time, the indicators are so high. The reason why Bloomberg was brought in, and you may have discussed this on other shows, but the reason why Bloomberg came in is because the other candidates just couldn't get the money to continue to run. Bernie was destroying them all. Nobody in the race was collecting as much money as Bernie was. So Bloomberg had to come in because he was self-financed. He was the only one who could step in. Steyer didn't have traction. He wasn't getting traction. He got his ass kicked in South Carolina. He was hoping. That was his state. He was hoping. These guys are coming in. Steyer, wasted $300 million. Bloomberg is spending $500 million. Think of all the affordable housing that these two guys could have,
Well,
built
they're
for
not
people. But
interested in
it's
doing stuff like that.
no, no. It's all ego. It's all egomaniacal. It's not for the good of the people, and it's disgusting. It's despicable. Everybody should be outraged, and that's the other thing I don't see on enough shows is the outrage and the anger. People take it wrong. They're like, "Oh, it's Trump-like." No, you aren't. You should be outraged about Trump. You should be outraged that there's people sleeping out in the streets. You should be outraged that people are. Look, the coronavirus. You want to know how you stop a pandemic or an epidemic? You have universal health care. You don't have people in fear of going to get checked out or go get tested. So even logic should say to you, oh my God, universal health care and Medicare for all, whatever term you want to put on it, is crucial for what's coming next, which is a pandemic. Every scientist, like global warming, says a pandemic is coming. This country is not ready. So if you can't do it for the sick and the poor, do it for the logic of a pandemic that will kill, I don't know, thousands of old people because you didn't want to give poor people health care. It does. The logic just isn't there, and it's outrageous. It's an outrageous time to be alive. But at the same time, look, we're fighting this good fight. It feels good to be fighting. And again, I want to be clear that. So I was heavily involved in 2016. We had an office down in New Jersey that was self-run. It wasn't campaign run. We grassrooted it. We financed it ourselves because at that time Bernie was like, "Look, I'm not going to win New Jersey. I'm not interested. We're not going to put a lot of money there." He just didn't. He didn't have the money at the time. This time around, I'm a busy guy. I've donated $120. I try to do a little bit of phone banking. But this right now, what you are doing, Sean, is what I want to do. In 2016, I was trying to create a 24-hour Bernie channel where people would just go back to back to back and broadcast so that people out there have somewhere to go. And we talked about this before we started the show. I have nowhere to go, Sean. If I don't tune into your show to get a little bit of a boost, I have nowhere to go. No, there's nowhere for me to go to watch something to go, oh, I feel better now. This doesn't exist for me. So what you're doing, this broadcast is crucial. So you told me before the show that it's hard to get up for the game, and I will be your cheerleader. I'll be the guy who says, yo, man, Sean, this is important. What you're doing, I think, is the most important thing because we don't have anti-establishment media. True anti-establishment media that isn't run for profit. We do this for the good of the people, not because it's going to make us famous or make us money, because it's necessary and needed. So that's why I totally respect what you do. I think it's amazing. I'm jealous. I'm totally jealous.
Well, I appreciate that. And let me get to some comments here because Kathy was talking about how they are shutting down polling places in minority areas in Texas.
Yes. I
And
forget which
there
article. I
will
forget which news
be,
source.
like he was just saying, there will be. Um, Jack said, Well, I'll let Jack can read what he said. If I read it, YouTube will flag it. So, but Bloomberg is a Republican. Jack said Bloomberg is a Republican, and he is. He's running. He's everything bad that you imagine or fear in Trump. He represents.
He he's actually worse than Trump, because he put in place stop and frisk, and people don't know the numbers of people that were arrested for possession of marijuana. And again, I would research this because it's pretty scary. If you were stopped and frisked in New York City, and this is my interpretation of the law, so I could be wrong, but if you were stopped and frisked and they found pot, it was nothing. But if they said, "Could you empty out your pockets?" and you bought it out, they could be a felony charge. We had massive incarceration, and again, you have to understand, in New York City, if you're arrested, very few cases go to trial because it's not about stop and frisk. Just in general, we just have a hard time bringing cases to trial because there's so many cases. But if you looked over a 12-year period of who was affected and how many people were arrested, it would blow your mind. I don't want to give the wrong numbers, but it was probably one of the worst things that's happened in our time, in our modern history. How many people were arrested, and nothing was ever done about it. There was no outrage. It was a minority community, so nobody cared. But I'm telling you, the numbers will blow your mind. I think they're way off of who was affected, but I think they would arrest 40,000 people a year on pot possession a year over. So that's 12-year period.
No,
So,
heavily targeted minorities. Bloomberg's awful.
yep.
He really is a terrible person. And you can look at that way he spent his money politically and prove it. And he admitted in the debates that he's bought off the Democratic Party.
That was classic. That was why was that not all? That should be all over Instagram and Twitter. He said the word "I bought." I bought these candidates. I bought.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what he said. He said it right on national TV, and everybody just he admitted it.
It,
He admitted to buying
it
elections.
makes you wonder sometimes how much the average person would need to wake up fully, to actually
Well,
understand.
I think it's important for people to be, again, that's why your show is important, right? So you say to people, hey, please share this to anybody who feels on the fence, if anybody who's scared, anybody who's lonely, anybody who, again, I can't imagine what it's like to live in South Carolina. I can't imagine what it's like to live in Iowa. There are some real states that, you talk about fear of doing this show. I have fear every day getting up. I don't want to tell people that I'm like this brave person. I have fear every day waking up. That's good. The fear should be, oh my God, people are dying of sickness. People are in the homeless. I'm seeing homeless all over New York City. I see it. So the fear, if you have fear out there, that's okay. Fear should drive you. Anxiety should drive you. But, we do the show for anybody who feels like, how do I wake other people up? How do I wake people up? I'm all alone. I'm outnumbered here, wherever I live, or whatever community, whatever family I'm in, or whatever business you're in. You feel like you're the only one who's a Bernie supporter. So again, I think that's the crucial part of doing this show, is to give people the confidence to go, all right, I'm going to figure out a way to connect with somebody else. Because I'm telling you, the best friends I've made in the last 4 years were Bernie people. You know immediately where they stand on almost every issue, right? There's no misunderstanding where you stand on every issue. And then you feel the same. You feel this energy. It's cliche, but you feel love. You feel this person is really admitting love and really wants to help other people out of the goodness of their heart. And again, the thing that blows my mind is the people who are really out there working, and I'm not. I'm not on the ground. The people on the ground are really killing themselves. I know a woman who I tried to do a show with. She went I think she went from California to Nevada in a bus with no heat to go and do work for Bernie, to canvass, and she got sick. So, there's people, if there's 1,000 stories like that, probably 10,000
There are
stories like that.
millions of
So,
people getting very, very, very involved, and that's what's making this happen. That's where the strength of this movement is coming from. And Brittany was mentioning that there's no outrage in the mainstream media, and that's crazy. But and why we have to fight so hard. The mainstream media is there to misinform and misdirect. That's their entire purpose. So they're an enemy. We are in a war, and they are our enemy.
and Kathy's so right? Because when Bernie speaks, they can say, well, he's the only one talking like that. He's the only one who speaks so loud, and they twist it, right? Because he's got nobody else doing the same thing. Nobody has the passion, the drive, the track record of 40 years of consistency. You just don't have the next Bernie. And we talked about this. There is no next Bernie. This is it. Maybe next Cortez, but she's going to have to build a track record. She's got to have to spend some time. This is it. Bernie is it. Now, people don't like that again. They're like, oh, demagogue. Oh, the Bernie this, Bernie that. Nobody has the track record this guy said. This is it. Tomorrow is it. So, yeah, you look at the other you can look at any other broadcaster, any Young Turks, Jimmy Dore. I don't even know who's out there, but most of them they try that cerebral stuff. But people are like, where's the outrage? Why can't people talk like Bernie? The emotion's not there. You should be much more outraged than. And Kathy's completely right. There should be much more outrage and emotion than what's going on, and it feels strange because what you're feeling is not being. You only see it with Bernie. And again, Bernie is messaging because he needs to get through. It's like you said, how do you wake these people up? Bernie does it by repetition. He's telling them over and over again, this is where I stand. And it can get tedious. It can get a little boring. You need to have a different outlet. You need to have this show on where someone comes on and is really passionate and has a lot of energy and is like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm just like that guy. I just don't think it's out there, Sean. And I think what you do, and I know how you feel because I did it in 2016. It's if you feel crazy, and I'm telling you, it's so necessary. There's no other outlet that's doing what's necessary and showing the outrage, because the stuff they're doing is outrageous. From Trump tweeting all his tweets all day long to the DNC again rigging this to people trying to stop Bernie. They care more about stopping Bernie than stopping Trump. That should send shivers down your
Well, it
spine.
should show everyone that this is the true revolution. Everything is focused on stopping us. Stopping Bernie is about stopping us. And Kathy says to never lose your sense of outrage. That is something that Bernie said and started out, but it's true. You should be outraged by all of the injustice in the world, and the only way that anything's ever going to happen is if we stop tolerating it and put in the work. So that's why something like this was important to me. I had to do everything this time, and even if people that are hurt, please get back involved. We're going to win, but we need to overwhelm them. We have a chance to take it down. I know
When
that
we
what happened hurt,
when we
but
speak when we speak of outrage, take action. Get a friend to donate. You donate. Get new donors. The most important thing is the new donor, is the next new donor, so he can build his original donor list to grow that number, to scare them. Also, obviously, he needs the money. So take some kind of action, whatever it is. Share this show. You just can't be outraged. See, outrage has to follow action. You need whatever your strengths are. You've got to take that outrage and funnel it into action. It's not good enough to be outraged, right? It takes action, massive action for this to happen. So I want you to be outraged. I want you to be passionate, and I want you to get out there, find a group on Facebook. I'm in a Staten Island group. I live in Staten Island, but I work in Manhattan. I'm in a Staten Island group. I met these people once. I'm just as guilty as anybody else. I'm so busy, it's hard to get involved. But take the outrage and try to figure out, okay, what do I do with this outrage? How do I use this energy? Just don't be outraged in your house. Share Sean's show. Get another friend to donate. Go to a meeting. Go to a phone banking. Do whatever you have to do, but use that outrage in a positive way. I want you to be outraged. You should be outraged, but you got to take action.
there has to be action behind it. You're right, absolutely. And that's why what's going to make this happen is because millions of people do understand that. The volunteer base is amazing. And Kathy had mentioned that our ground game is our weapon. That is why we're going to win. The people on the ground. Hey, Dale, good to see you joining us. Brittany says the outrage is what makes me go harder. I know how to inform myself just as anyone else, and no one can show me where I'm wrong, and they don't care. That's the most frustrating part. They don't care. We have to take
But
responsibility for this.
But that's the great part about being a Bernie Sanders fan, because, like you said, or whatever we call ourselves, but is most people are really educated. And the reason why we get the term Bernie bro is because we lose our patience. So you're talking to someone and you just lose your patience because they're not telling the truth. So they're either lying, or they're incompetent with they're finding out the information themselves, or they're too cowardly to stand
But
up.
no,
So
hold
from a
just a second though. I want to magnify what you just said, because that's important. What you just said. We need to focus on our approach because we can't rattle their cage too much. You trigger their cognitive dissonance; they're not even listening to you anymore, right?
Well, I mean, I would say to you in 2016, I just gave up on. I was doing flame wars because as a comedian, you find it intellectually stimulating. You get off on it, but you have to switch over and go and find the people and hang with the people. You have to donate more. But I think I want to relate to the people who are, especially on Facebook, because you see so much garbage and you know so much. You have so much information, and then when you bring it to these people and they disregard it, you're like, how can you disregard these facts I'm bringing you? It boggles again the mind. So I don't know how exactly. I'm not the kind of guy who's going to reach out because if they're going to come and slam Bernie or if they're going to slam the revolution, it's going to get ugly fast. I don't tolerate bullshit very well. Simple as that. So if you come in, you're lying or you're misinformed, you're going to feel the wrath, and I'm not going to come easy on you. If you're going to come hard at me, I'm sorry, I got to return the favor. I can't just let you come hard, lie, and walk away. I just can't. Cowards and bullies, I have to talk to them and I have to be firm with them. Bernie wouldn't put up with it. He would do it diplomatically, but we're not going to take
Well,
any
we
shit.
have
We're not going to have
different
these people.
roles, us and Bernie, don't we? That's the other thing that people need to remember. That when they're upset with Bernie, they need to realize that we have different roles and jobs and responsibilities, and we have to appeal to different audiences and follow different rules.
But I think, depending on how long you've been alive and how long you've seen this, and now you're really getting to see. Now the curtain's been pulled back. See, for many years, nobody could say, "Oh, this is all an illusion." Everybody could say, "Oh, the table's rigged." People are like, "No, no, it isn't." Now we know for a fact that the DNC is just as devious as the Republican Party, if not more. So again, I understand the sense of outrage, and it's hard to control yourself when we're fighting for real, actual lives. We're fighting for the planet, and we're fighting for people's lives. It's hard not to be passionate. It's hard, and then again, everybody should be doing shows. Everybody should be live broadcasting. Tell their story. Maybe somebody else has the gift of doing broadcasting. Someone else has the gift of writing. Someone has the gift of drawing pictures. Whatever your strength is, whatever your passion is, give it back to the movement. That's crucial. That's how you wake people up. Use your strength. My strength, I was a professional stand-up comedian for 20 years. You can't get me. You can't battle with me unless you're another comedian who's done stand-up for 20 years. It ain't going to turn out well for you. You know what I'm saying? So again, whatever your strength is, use it to help the movement. That's
And
all
we
I would
all
say to
have
you.
something we
And
can do. And like earlier, you were talking like you weren't doing enough. It's not true. If you're in the movement and you're active and you're sharing truth and you're doing all you can, you are doing enough. As long as you have your own life, we all do, and our own responsibilities. And we all should remember that we're just one person in a revolution of millions. So as Kyle was saying, burners unite. You know what I mean? I'll pick up slack where you drop it off. You see what I'm saying? But you donate when you can, you do what you can, you're helping. You're a warrior in this revolution and you're fighting. But Jack agreed with you that we don't tolerate bullshit very well. And Alicia says, that's exactly right. Until we actively stand up to the status quo, nothing will change. In the 60s, during the civil rights movement, it was boycotting that helped create change. It's always been the people standing up that makes change. That's why I believe in what's going on so much. Is because not because I believe in politics. Our political system needs to be revamped from the ground up. I believe in the people rising up.
But I think there are some mechanisms that, again, that Bernie would not acknowledge to be used. But us just take MSNBC. If MSNBC comes on and let's this guy from a hardball say that Bernie's a Nazi, you've got to immediately boycott, get on the phone and call that sponsorship and say,
Did you
look,
see that he
I'm
resigned?
boycotting. Yes, he resigned as of tonight. But I mean, who knows where the pressure came for that? Maybe it's because every time he opens his mouth, Bernie people donate. I am always now going to donate when someone really pisses me off. I am going to donate. I'm going to go broke in this election, for
Well,
God's sakes,
everything they're
because
doing backfires in that way. It increases our support because people have a massive mistrust for the media and they've earned it.
I mean, come on, who gets to go on and compare a candidate to the Nazis, the brown shirt Nazis, a Jewish candidate? How did he not lose his job immediately? Again, that's on us to push that. You got to
Because we
call
have a
MSNBC, but
propaganda
more.
machine, not a mass media. We have a mass propaganda machine, and they wanted that propaganda out there. It's just the backlash was so intense
Right. He was protected, but that's what I'm saying. He was protected by the network. They love what he does, right?
Right.
But hopefully the donations increased. But also, I feel like again, people have to call the sponsor. You got to pick up the call and call the sponsor of that broadcast. Don't call the network. They don't care. They're getting paid by the sponsor. So again, but I mean, we would need to have other. Again, this show would have to be come on and say, okay, here's what they said on Hardball today, and here is the list of sponsors that support this nonsense. Please make a phone call. That I believe is really crucial to the next movement of, because like she said in the 60s, boycotting works. Take their money away, they're going to start to listen. You got to take
That's
their
all
money
that they'll
away. It's as
listen
simple as
to.
that. Yep.
Kathy says, I just followed you, Matt, on Twitter, but she couldn't find your podcast.
Oh gosh. Okay. So if you want to follow me, I'm so old school. Just follow me on Facebook. I'm not really active on Twitter. My podcast, Talk Bernie to Me, was only in 2016. Um, I worked with Real Progressive, as you know. I'm no longer with Real Progressives. I would also look into they're a fine organization. I'm not against any progressive organization trying to move the ball, trying to do good. So yeah, follow me on Facebook. Matt Stuick is my last name, Stueck. I would love to be friends with all your listeners, all your viewers. But like I said, I came to Sean because I've been chomping at the bit, because tonight I am vibrating with positive energy, which I don't always vibrate. Like, I am so excited about tomorrow. I can't tell you. Yes, I know there's going to be some pain involved. There's going to be shenanigans for sure, but we are going to dominate tomorrow. For the first time, a progressive candidate on his own with grassroots donations and volunteers, we are going to move this country. Tomorrow there will be a transformation because his name will be out there in every state. He's going to beat Warren in Massachusetts. He's going to win Texas maybe. California, he's going to crush. You should be excited. So if you're out there and you're feeling down, I truly believe tomorrow is the real beginning of this revolution where they can't control it anymore. There's no way. It's too big. The numbers are too big. But don't get
No,
complacent. You
can't.
got to keep working and keep growing. Keep growing the movement. Keep sharing this. Keep talking to your friends. Saw this show. You should watch this show. Or if you don't like this show, you should donate. You should wear a shirt. Like I'm wearing my shirt now. I wore around the city. I mean, it makes me feel weird. There's nobody else wearing it, but I mean, I feel like I owe it to him. I feel like I gotta represent. So, do whatever you can wherever you are. And I know that I have it good. I'm in New York City. It's a fairly progressive city. I mean, I wish de Blasio was even more progressive. I feel like at times I'm left of Bernie, just so you know where my politics are. I feel like left of Bernie, and I feel like de Blasio is not even that progressive. So depending on how you feel out wherever you are, this show is for you. This is the show that needs to be done. And I'm jealous and I'm glad that you're doing it. And I'm thank you for all your viewers for watching, because this is crucial. We need a grassroots media. Grassroots media, no money involved. We're doing it solely because it's the right thing to
That's
do,
what I'm
not to
building.
profit.
That's what I'm building here on Me on Things and Stuff. If you're here on YouTube, that's the hub. So,
And Sean, thank you for reaching out. Like, you didn't have to reach out. You said I've been. How long have I been badgering you to be on your show?
oh, we've been
For
in
quite a
touch for a
while.
while. It just hasn't worked out. But I'm glad we were able to
Yeah,
have
yeah.
you on and share your experience in the revolution. But Alicia also talked about being nervous tomorrow. Nervously excited is how she put it, which I think is a good way to put it. We should be nervously excited, and we should. Like I've been saying for about a week now, we need to fight in this like we're 50 points behind.
I agree.
Don't don't take it for granted that we're killing it, which we are. We have to win overwhelmingly. It's not enough just to win.
Right, because again, we don't know. It's hard to try to think villainous and try to think what they would do. Obviously, they're keeping Warren in the race. Warren will not win any states. She's there to win delegates for a brokered convention. That could very well happen. That could be depressing. We could go to a brokered convention. They're going to try to steal at the convention. We don't know, but we have to keep working. So Warren is the surprise. I call her the surprise primary villain. I didn't think she would be the biggest villain. Turns out she's the biggest villain. I
Really, it
would
didn't
love.
surprise me. I've seen a lot of people were surprised.
Well,
She, I thought she was a phony progressive for a while now, and I didn't realize how much she would backstab and how deep she would go and how much she would triple down. But it didn't totally shock me. Like, I already thought she was a bad person when she stabbed Bernie in the back, and then tried to
on live TV.
get in on the progressive side of people by admitting it was rigged. She knew it was being rigged while it was happening. She was part of it.
And taking dark money when she promised not to take dark money. So she opened a pack, and she opened because she didn't have the money to continue.
But that's
None of these
girl
kind.
power, isn't it?
Well, I mean, again, you can label it right, but we know, as Bernie people know, that any money is dark money. You can try to put your own label, like a Bernie bro. They can put a label on me and call me whatever, and you can call girl power, but you know what it is. It's
No,
corporate power.
I was being a
No,
smart
no,
aleck.
no, but that's what you might get that online. Someone's gonna say, "What are you against girl power?" And now I'm a misogynist. You know what I'm saying? So it's the angle they play, and you got to be ready. You got to be ready to dodge and move and stick. You can't let them put you in a corner. It's no, but so Warren calling him, basically calling him a sexist was just terrible, backstabbing him. You thought it would come from some. I just didn't think she would go as low as she ended up going. Did I think she was possibility she had some, villainous qualities? It just you can't write this stuff. I just didn't think she would go to the lens. There's no reason for her to be in the race. No
No,
reason.
she's the worst. I was talking about this on Facebook yesterday. To me, she's the worst one up there because she is an outright phony that is up there just trying to pull as many progressive votes or moderate votes as she can from Bernie and get some delegates to force this broker convention, keep us from 1991. She doesn't plan to win any states.
And again, so what's the proper name to call her? A tool, a pawn? What's safe? What's a safe word we can call so we don't offend people? But that's what she is.
A
She's a tool. She's a
snake.
pawn. And people love snake, but you say snake, and like, oh, that's sexist. So
Is
I
it?
don't know. Again, they're always going to paint it a certain way. They're
Right.
always going to try to stop the truth from coming out. So we have to find these truth words that they can't manipulate and change.
Well, anything negative you find on a political candidate seems to be sexism.
Right, and that's why, as a male, you have to be aware of that and just be careful. I mean, I'm always trying to come up with corporate puppet. I mean, there's different things there's words you can get that are, you can't. What am I being offensive to puppets? There's this world we
She's
live in
worse
now
than
where
a puppet. She's a wolf in sheep's clothing. And she hides and pretends to be, like Jack says, she's a Republican. She was a
yep, and
Republican
she's
for most of her political career.
and she's doing this purposely. She's staying in the race to
Absolutely.
water down the delegates. And that's probably the most disappointing right now is Warren is what really disappoints me.
You got to
I
imagine
really
what's it like to be Bernie, though. She'll walk arm in arm with him and pretend to be his friend. So what's that feel like once you realize this woman is part of what the Stop Bernie movement?
And again, we create Bernie as this god, but how can you look at a guy with so much patience who's been in this for 40 years and has seen all the backstabbing and what the DNC did to him in 2016 and what they're doing to him again? Clinton comes out and says nobody likes him, done purposely. I mean, everything they do is strategic and manipulative. Nothing is done with truth. Nothing, and when we speak truth to power, we get slammed on. When we're trying to help the sick, the poor, the unincluded, we're the ones that are the evil ones. How do they even get to twist it like that? So, of course, there's outrage. And look, when we call out Warren, they're like, oh, yeah, like you said, oh, that's misogynist. No, the facts are not I'm a misogynist. The fact is she's not doing the right thing. How would you want me to say it so it's clearer and more effective? She is hurting people suffering. The people that she says she's protecting, the sick, the poor, the elderly, she is hurting by staying in the race. How
Actively
much
working
clearer?
against. Agreed.
How can I make it? How can I make it any clearer to you that what she's doing is only helping a moderate candidate who's not going to help anybody? He's in there to help corporations. I'm sorry that hurts you to hear, but that's the way it is. Now, if you're a moderate and you still aren't there yet, I don't know. Go visit a place stricken with poverty. Go to an old folks home. I don't know what it's going to take to wake up somebody who's a moderate who's like, oh, I got mine. I'm good.
Well, there are
You
some
know,
people that are selfish, and they do feel like that. And unfortunately, there's a large group of them, but we don't need everybody. It only takes 3% of a population standing united to have a successful revolution.
but it's the buzzwords, right? Oh, he's not a Democrat. Oh, we're doing this for America. No, screw that. We're doing this because people are hurting. You know what I'm saying? It's not about Democrats. It's about people who give a damn. Don't label it. Don't give me Democrat because I can be independent. maybe I could be a Republican. I don't know. Maybe I could cross over. Maybe I realize that Trump was their last chance, right? And they're like, oh my God, this guy was a liar too. He made it even 10 times worse. And now they're going to give me two options this time. If it's Trump or Bernie this time, and I'm truly a religious Republican, and I'm still pulling that lever for Trump, let's hope that some of these Republicans just can't do it. They just can't stomach it this time, and they would pull the lever for the guy who's truly for 40 years been trying to help everyone
A lot of
as
them
best that
will.
he could.
A lot of them will. These Trump people that are so confident, I think they're in for a shock. Because the hardcore Trump support, there isn't really as many of them as they think there is. Now, there's a lot of people that show up to these rallies, but the ones that are hardcore into Trump, no matter what, Trumpers, they're not as strong as they think they are.
Well, I think what people don't understand about Trump is that the use of social media, his use of social media is unprecedented. And to dismiss him is a mistake because he's able to, again, puppet whatever, he's able to just control the media by sending out these wacky tweets. And they're going to get wackier and wackier if Bernie gets in the race. And he's going to rile his base up with hate. And we're on the other
Oh,
side
yeah.
trying to rile up his base with love. And if we go all the way to the convention and they're still trying to steal it from Bernie, again, it's going to be so. If there's people to blame at the end of the day for this, it's not going to be us. It's going to be the people that tried to stop Bernie at Steyer, come on, and Bloomberg putting that much money in the campaign to stop Bernie, 800 million
Bloomberg
collectively. Think of it.
Bloomberg is an oligarch. He's the ninth richest man in the world, entering an election to buy the Democratic Party to stop our revolution. They are not trying to stop Donald Trump.
Right. And so they must have went to him and begged him to get into the race because Biden just wasn't raising enough money. They needed it to be self-funded. Look at the Yang people. Yang people out there. Come to Bernie. Because this is what I say to Yang people. Bernie is going to have to pass the baton on to somebody, Cortez or Yang. So if we could get these people to, look, Yang people are all about policy. But at the end of the day, Yang people, we're trying to help as many people as we can in the most cost-effective way. If you want to have a policy debate, that's great. But right now, the reality is Bernie is the man who's going to make the greatest changes. If you think Yang has a better plan, that's great. Let's get to Yang next time around. You want us aboard? Let's come together. Let's have a meeting of the minds here. Let's have you guys support because we need you. We need the Yang people. We're going to need the Tulsi people, and we need Tulsi to drop out. And people are like, oh, what difference does it make? She's barely registering. That 1% could be another $10 million. Who
Tulsi's
knows?
not hurting anything, and I'm going to tell you why. I think they're running a co-campaign. I'm going to be real honest with you. I really do. I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. But I think they have a strategy together. Tulsi's not pulling anything from Bernie. I don't think.
I just think the ground game, if you could increase if people out there from Tulsi trying to get donations or trying to get votes,
But I
when they
think
could
I
be
think
working
they're
for.
gonna. I guarantee you. I'd almost put money on it, but I don't have any money to put on it. That Tulsi and Bernie are going to merge their campaigns.
Let's hope. But obviously the Democrats were quick. They knew the numbers. They got all their operatives out there, right? And they spun their tail and they got Buttigieg to drop out. They got Klobuchar to drop out. Steyer drops out, and now it's
Well,
what do
whatever's
we got?
going on, you have to remember it's a preordained plan that they had in these meetings to how to stop our revolution. And the Bloomberg, having to pull the Bloomberg strategy out of their butts or whatever you want to. I try so hard not to cuss on here, but it doesn't really always work. Having to pull that strategy out and buy this, try to outright buy it, and force a brokered convention since they know they can't win. They understand they can't beat us. So they're going
Right.
to try to steal it.
So it's going to be interesting tomorrow because we should be the happiest we've been in quite some time. Bernie is going to collect so many delegates tomorrow from California alone, puts him way ahead of everybody else. If he was to dominate, so the reason why they did what they did is because he was going to win 400 delegates outright. So now that they've switched it, they're going to be able to siphon, so the impact won't be as great. They had to do it. They had to get on the phone and beg and plead, please drop out. Tomorrow, if you do not drop out tonight, you don't drop out right now, tomorrow there'll be no chance. It would have been over. If those people had stayed in the race, it would have been over.
Well, if we push hard It can be.
But again, they're headed toward a brokerage convention. I don't know how
I know.
far they're willing to go. I don't know if the super delegates they're going to pull the. I can't imagine they're going to do it, but I don't know what they're capable of. I would assume
Do you
maybe
think
when we
they'll
get to
move
the,
the goalposts if we hit 1991? Do you think they'll move the goalpost on us?
no, that would be crazy. I think they're just going to do a broker convention. I can't see them doing anything else. I just think they're so desperate right now that they just be moving. They must be moving so many pieces. And they get Klobuchar and Buttigieg to drop out, and Steyer drops out. I mean, we'll never know, right? We'll never know about those backdoor meetings. Warren's never going to talk. Buttigieg is never going to talk. Steyer might talk. Um, but again, you want conspiracy? These are operatives. This is the DNC begging these people, please drop out. Tomorrow, Bernie is going to crush us. It's going to be over tomorrow if you don't drop out. What do we have to offer you to drop out? That's what took place. No one in the media is speaking about that, but that's exactly what took place. What can I offer you, Pete,
The media is
for you to
never
drop
going to
out?
help us. The media is never going to report the truth. There's no such thing as that in the mainstream media anymore. So they're part of
Right.
it as well. They're involved in it. They might as well have
They're,
been at the Bernie meeting. Some of them probably were.
and I don't think that obviously is yes. That's a yes for sure. For sure, all the scripts are passed around. For sure, they're all in cahoots. They know exactly the angle they're going to take. The language is too. Remember, super predators. Remember how they would just push things and use the same phraseology, and you would just see it. Oh, okay, they were all been scripted. They've all been said to read this little
Oh
speech.
yeah.
It's the same. It's the same thing that goes on today. It's just that now we have some alternative media, which can push back. It needs to be much greater because I believe that the media and the fact that people still receive their information from these sources is why we lose, because we just don't have. Again, you can bring up any other name, like the Intercept should have a 20. How does the Intercept not have a 24-hour channel where people can tune in? I mean, why isn't the Young Turks trying to go 24 hours? It's got to be 24 hours because that's what the news feed is, right? With Twitter and Facebook and everything else, it's a 24-hour news feed. So as a grassroots operation, it's got to be 24-hour. You've got to be able to tune in at any time of the day to get your fix of hey, what's going on? Someone speak to me because I'm getting disillusioned. I'm getting scared. I'm getting jaded. And it's not there, Sean. And that's why this is crucial. People have to understand. When I did this in 2016, I felt crazy. But there was no alternative for me. I would tell my friends, I would stop doing this if somebody else was talking the way I talk. I would stop. If we had a comedian, if you had Jon Stewart back on the air, if you had something. But there is nowhere for people to go.
Hold
Now,
on.
you can tell me
Real quick, I just want to say this. I didn't mean to cut you off. But Convo Couch is reporting, Kathy says, that there's problems with provisional ballots and voter rolls already in LA, which is where Steve is. And Steve says he voted early. So that concerns me.
Well, again, there's going to be pockets of moderate to conservative places in California that's just going to happen. Look, they pushed their primary up. I believe they have. If there's one state I'm most confident. So if stuff goes down in California, we're in big trouble. I believe out of all the states in this union, California has its act together. And California is so they are on the boards. They are in control of the policy. I don't think it can happen.
But
I
we
think it's
have
the
to be
one state
very
that.
alert as well tomorrow.
Well, you should be alert in your own state, and you should be trying to get involved in your own state, and you should be you should be out there on the ground as a journalist trying to just read the atmosphere, read the mood of your environment. I'll tell you from a New York City standpoint, I don't like the energy. I don't think people are excited. I don't see people chatting. I don't see signs. I don't see. I just don't see the energy. It scares me. But maybe it's because we're way down. Maybe because we're not. We're way off the primary path. So again, it's always good to talk to everybody from different states. What are you feeling? What's the mood right now? Let's see. I truly believe that California should be okay tomorrow. They really have their acts together. Again, I wish I had done more, research to give you the names of the people and the policy changes. But just the fact that they moved their primary to Tuesday was huge. They were much further down the road. And again, I would say to you, why in God's name does a primary start in Iowa, to New Hampshire, to South Carolina? Three of those states are highly conservative states. They are not indicators of how diverse a country this is. They're very white. Iowa is very white. New Hampshire is very white. South Carolina is super conservative. So those first three states where you're building momentum, again, to me, is very suspicious. I don't understand why a primary would start there, unless you're trying to keep the tone at a moderate tone. You're trying to control the election.
They
That's the way
are.
I feel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. That's what their polls are for, too. Their polls are fake, and they're just to manufacture support where it doesn't exist.
manufacturing consent,
Yes.
right? Yeah, it's just it's terrible, man. Again, Sean, you can feel whatever you feel about what you do. I believe what you do is one of the most important things that can be done. More people need to be doing it. Look, if you want to, even Sean, you should put. I don't want to put this out there, but if you want to work with Sean, or you're from a state, I would say contact Sean and pop on. If you have information, if you have fears, if you have an angle, Sean needs help, and this should be extended. This should be a longer show. And you should encourage other people to get involved because it's a simple thing to do. Broadcasting like this is not difficult, right? It's a simple thing to do, and it's something that you could be doing to share inside groups, inside your state. Go broadcast just in your state group, whatever, wherever you do. This is important. This is crucial. People don't get it. That's fine, but there just isn't grassroots, progressive, funny, interesting. And I'm completely censoring myself. And this is not the show particularly that I would do. I would be cursing and I'd be ranting and I would try to be adding more fun because I can't cope with it any other way. If I'm not joking or making jokes about it, I can't cope.
Well, the thing is that you can't be real anymore. You have to be very careful,
No, it's
especially
true.
on YouTube and Facebook, because the computer algorithm tracks those kind of words.
And Sean, I totally agree. And this is why I really get mad at people who are in bands or, if you're an actor or you're a comedian and you're not doing anything to help the movement when you have these huge amount of followers. You want to talk about cowardly. I mean, what does it take to endorse Bernie and throw it out on your Twitter feed? What does it take to do a live broadcast? It takes nothing. You press a button and you go. And these people refuse to do it. We live in cowardly times. And if you're out there fighting alone and you're feeling jaded, you should. You should. But this is the place, Sean. Your show is the place where people come and go, oh, I'm not alone. I'm ready to fight. And it's going to be a tough fight. And tomorrow is going to be good and bad. But I trust you tomorrow is going to shake them to the core. Shake them to the core. And it will be the most progressive moment in history. That's my opinion. Now, you guys may feel differently, but I'm trying to pump you up.
We're going to have to
Tomorrow.
stand firm tomorrow, though, no matter what, and push forward and as hard as we possibly can. Get everyone you can out to vote. If you're in any of these states that get to vote tomorrow, make sure that we overwhelm them.
Talk with your friends, get them rides, push them out the door, pick up friends, start carpools, figure out a way. Maybe it's too late, but it's not too late to pick up a friend and have fun to go to the primary and vote. Make it a day, man. This is the day. I'm telling these people, I am vibrating. I'm so excited for tomorrow.
There's
I
so
don't.
much work that's gone into this. This is exciting.
It is. This is history. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you're not fearful tonight. I hope you go to bed feeling good. And tomorrow, no matter what happens, we come back tomorrow. Sean comes back tomorrow. If I come back tomorrow, great. We come back tomorrow and we start all over again. And we keep pushing. We keep pushing. Don't get jaded. Don't get down. There's people out there like me. There's people of your color, your sexuality, who love Bernie and are fighting the good fight. You're not alone. Find the people that you need to be with. Find the group. Find the Bernie group that speaks to you. Do it today. Do it tonight. Do it tomorrow.
Bernie or Vest. That's
Sit.
a great group.
Bernie or Vest. I'm
Yes.
with it.
We are
Burn
in
it
this
down.
to the end. We have to be willing to go all the way to direct action. Kathy mentioned earlier in the comments on YouTube that they have 4,000 cops hired from Milwaukee
Oh well.
for the
Hey,
convention.
I gotta break out. You can keep going, but I gotta go.
All right, I appreciate you doing this.
Yep. See you next time, Sean. I hope we do this again. I
All
appreciate
right.
it. Thanks so
Thanks
much.
for
Take
being
care.
on. All right, guys, that was Matt. Let me switch back here. That was fun. He had a lot of energy. He was going fast, man. I was trying to keep up. He had a lot to say. He only had about an hour to go, and sorry. I appreciate him doing that and spending some time with us. I tried to get in as many of you guys' comments as I could during that. We had some fantastic comments during that. Um, Dale says turnout is key. Don't assume that we'll get enough votes. It is not the time to lay back. We have to push as hard as possible tomorrow. We have to crush this. We have to overwhelm them. It's not enough to win. We need to overwhelm them. So, and make sure that you stay really well informed tomorrow. They will pull shenanigans. They will close polling stations. They will send out false information. They will try to mislead people. So, text Bernie to 67760. That will enroll you in the official texting service of the campaign. And that will keep you really informed. We used it in 2016 when they were giving out bad locations and things like that. We were able to redirect people, and that's a really good service. So that's the official service. Text Bernie to 67760. That will enroll you, and or get the Bern app. That's a great way to stay really connected too. But Steve says have Matt on more often. Dale says great combo. I thought it went really good. It did go really good, and I was glad that it worked. um, I will that opens a lot of doors now. So Steve, I think you know, and Jack, I think I'm gonna press for that interview and see if he will come on. I want to get Tim on, and I want to get other politicians on. I want to get burners on, activists, journalists, independent media, all kinds of people. This opens a lot of doors. So I'm really glad, that worked and we were able to pull that off. Yeah, Kathy, that's what that was. We were using Skype. So Kathy says you can have people Skype you and do your show. Absolutely, and that's going to open so many doors out for this little thing we're doing here. But if you support what we're doing here, and you support independent media, and you like this kind of show, and you want to support it, the best way to do that for me is to come to the YouTube channel, Me on Things and Stuff. I'm going to share the link right now in the feed on Facebook. And if you're here in any of the watch parties that I had going, I'm sorry that I couldn't look at the comments. But I wanted this to get out to as many people as possible. So I did start 2 watch parties. Today it was on purpose. Sometimes I've done it on accident. Facebook should really work on that. But yes, now we can have guests, and that's going to be cool. So that was pretty neat. We've come a long way in the 200 plus episodes that we've been doing this show. But we do this every day at 7. We gather here every day at 7 on Our Revolution War Room. That's the name of the page. So join that page. But hey, Dion, good to see you. Steve, I have not contacted Tim. I haven't contacted anybody. I wanted to make sure it worked because I wanted to get around having to pay for Be Live. Some of you know that I was using a different service to interview people, and it was cool, but it was also $30 a month. So that was an expense I just couldn't afford really. When we get more support for the shows and we get more of a following built up and things like that, it'll make more sense to go back to that. It was a good service. I just wanted to see if I could get it to work through OBS. Dale says you needn't worry about comments. We're good just nattering with each other. Yeah, but I try to include you guys. And I want that to stay something that I always do. I like this to be interactive. I like you to feel involved. Kathy just super chatted on YouTube. That is a feature on YouTube that you can donate to the show during the show. And Kathy just donated $20. That is amazing. She says, I support you and love the comments. Matt was awesome. I love our comment section too. Our comment section, and Matt talked about this a little bit, that we have made a really good group here, a really good place to gather and inspire each other and motivate each other moving forward in this fight. This is a fight. This is a revolution. This is important what we're doing. And I wanted there to be a positive place for us, and I'm glad that that's what we've created here. So, I'm glad that you guys find value in this show and what we're doing. But we're doing this for the revolution. We're doing this to get the word out, to get everyone involved, as many people involved as we possibly can. But that was really cool, Kathy. I appreciate that. Kathy says I basically talk to myself on YouTube. Yeah, well, I like the interaction. Matter of fact, I think of a lot of you guys as my friends. I love hanging out with you guys and talking to you. But what we're doing here, the reason for it is because this means so much. And this is important. And we understand what's at stake. And we need to support each other because we are going to be told no in every way that we can possibly be told no. And everything that is can be done is going to be done to stop us, and including tomorrow. You know, I'm going to be streaming a lot tomorrow. I imagine that I will be talking to you guys quite a bit tomorrow. We'll be doing some special alerts and things as news arrives. Um, I'm planning on being pretty involved on social media tomorrow and tracking this. Luckily, I have the day off. But Steve says Jordan Charlton has been going on other shows. That'd be someone to reach out to. Ben Cohen. See, Jack's ambitious. Jack throws out big names. But yeah, we're going to reach out to some guests. And I want to interview Bernie Kratz. You know, I want to get people running, you know, for office across this country getting involved in politics. I want to get them on and highlight them and feature them on the show and things like that. I think that would be great. Oh, Steve. Steve gave a super chat. Thank you, Steve. He says, good show tonight. I appreciate it. I always feel a little weird uh, during the burn because this is for the revolution. But that's what this show is. So I don't know why I do that. But you guys are awesome. You rock. Kathy says revolution and I am in. We basically are doing, well, not basically, we are doing what needs to happen to make change happen, to make real change a reality, and move this country forward. This is magical what we're doing. This is very special. And anything you can do, like Matt was kind of dogging on himself during the interview because he's very busy and he can't do a whole lot. He was saying all I can do is donate and this and that. That is tremendous. Everything that you can do, anything that you can do. And like he said, we all have our own individual strengths and talents and things that we can bring to the table. Anything you can do will help and is part of this whole thing. It's even the smallest action is moving us in a positive direction and making things happen, making this a reality. And I really appreciate everything that all of you do. And those of you that gather here every day, you inspire me. So I hope that you draw inspiration from this show because that's what it's for. And Jack said it's always a great. Tonight was just a little bit more. Well, I'm really glad you guys like that. I was trying to watch your comments a lot during the feed and make sure that we got to them. So I have to watch it back and take it in again. I want to see it and listen to the conversation. But I wanted us to do a marathon. I really wanted us to have a good burn. And I kind of needed it myself because tomorrow I think we're in for some punches in the gut. And we're going to have to be ready for that. You know, I think that there is going to be some sideways stuff go on tomorrow. I really don't know how to speak plainly without cussing Liz. I try so hard. Some of you know there is a regular, and she has told me, and she's right, that it's less professional. And plus, like I said during the interview with Matt, YouTube will flag you. The algorithm will flag you, and they will now they mark your videos 18 plus. I've noticed anytime I accidentally cuss, when I watch it, when I go back on YouTube and I look at it, it's been marked 18 plus, and restricted, and they're getting very strict. We got to realize independent media is important to support because it's being killed off. They don't want you to get the truth. They don't want people telling you what's really going on. They don't want people exposing what's going on behind the curtain. And they don't want real people getting on and sharing their experiences because they want to keep us dumb and they want to keep us divided and they want to keep us broken up and easily managed. So these kind of things are very important. Like like Matt was saying, and I'm glad that this has taken up and gotten support and people draw inspiration and encourage each other here and move each other forward. It's inspiring to me. But it looks like a few people are coming in on Facebook. Hey Dolores, hey Ethan, how you guys doing? What do you think? What do you think about tomorrow? What Steve, Kathy, if you guys are still here, Kilo, what do you guys think? Kilo was saying earlier that he's nervous about tomorrow. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you. They are going to do all they can. They are going to try to stop us to the best of their ability, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think they're going to be able to pull it off. You know, they may steal some of our thunder tomorrow, but it's not going to be enough. Our momentum is too strong. This revolution is happening. This is going to happen. We are going to win. And like Steve says, I think we will win big tomorrow. I do too. I'm trying to guard myself because I am very emotional. And I'm not an optimist. I'm not pie in the sky dreamer either. I'm very realistic. I just believe to my core deeply in this revolution and what we're doing in this fight. I believe in it because historically, this is how change takes place. This is what makes change happen. What we're doing right now, what we're a part of, is how change takes place. So that's what I believe in. I don't believe in politics to begin with. I believe in this revolution because it's the people pushing each other forward. That's what's making this happen. That's why this will work. And like Brittany says, tomorrow sets the mood. We're going to build so much momentum and so much speed after tomorrow, they will not be able to stop us. They won't be able to. Now, they're going to do all they can, and they'll continue to try. But the momentum, it's going to be too much. We're going to overwhelm them. We're going to take this down. That's why it's going to happen, and it is going to happen. And it's going to happen because millions of us understand that it must. It must happen. This must take place. So do all you can tomorrow. If you're in any of these states where there's primaries and you're able to go and help, get people out to vote. Get people to polling stations. Make sure we fight if they try and do what they did in 2016 and give bad locations and misdirect people and misinform people. We fight all that and be very, very vigilant tomorrow, very aware, and document. Make sure that they know that we are watching and that we will not tolerate rigging this election and stealing this from us. This is ours. We have to own it. Believe to your core that we can have it, and don't let anyone take it away from you. We cannot back down. The only thing that can stop us at this point is us. If we stop, if we back down, if we quit, that's the only thing. But we're not going to do that, and that's why we're going to win. We will make this happen. We will make this a reality. But what do you think? Do you think that Bernie's going to beat Warren in Massachusetts? I do. I think so. I think she's not even going to win her own state. It's going to be awesome tomorrow. We're expected to win 14 of 16 contests. This is going to be the biggest day ever for progressives. We're going to dominate. And this is going to inspire people. Like we've talked about before, a lot of people need to see a victory. They need to see some winning before they get involved, before they're willing to commit, before they're willing to take that leap. They need to see that it's possible. It needs to be proven to them that it can happen. And that's what we're doing here. That's what we're proving to people. And after tomorrow, it's going to be undeniable. And everybody's going to see it. And Dale, I know we're going all the way this time. This is going to happen. This is a reality. This is happening right now. So do all you can. Keep doing all you can. But make sure you do all that you can. Everything you can. Don't leave nothing on the table. That doesn't mean overexert yourself. Just be active. Be fighting. Be in this revolution. Be in this fight. That's what's going to make this happen. Millions of us committed and doing all we can. That's why it's going to happen. It's the bottom line. It's not me or Bernie lying to you when they say that. That's what makes change happen. What's happening right now is how it takes place. They've just convinced you that it can't. And they've got their media selling this lie that none of this can be done when every bit of it can be done. What can't happen is their greed-driven system can't survive. Well, good. I don't think any of us are worried about sustaining that. It's not sustainable. What are you going to do? Let them take us down? No. Can't allow this. We have to move forward. We have to do all we can. And we are. And thank you to everybody out there fighting. And tomorrow we get to feel some excitement, feel some relief. But never lose your sense of outrage and never stop pushing. We don't win tomorrow. It's not over tomorrow. We got to keep going. They're going to do all they can to stop us. But it's not going to be enough. Because we are committed to doing all we can. Till everybody has health care as a human right. Till people live with dignity. And they don't have to ration their medicine or not be able to get the medical treatment that they need at all, or not make a living wage, live with dignity. These are all the things we're fighting for, and this is the reason why you guys are heroes. All of you guys fighting out there in this revolution. And I see you out there every day. And it inspires me. You know, and he was saying that there's not a voice like this out there. But the reason why I attempted it, you know, the reason why I felt like it needed to happen is because there is. It's just, it's silenced. It's not focused on. People don't pay attention to it. But it does exist. It is out there. So do all you can to expose that and spread it. That's what's making this change. That's what's leading this awakening. We're the media. That's our job, is to spread truth, to spread awareness, to do all we can to inform people. If we just keep doing that and we keep pushing, we cannot be beaten. We will win. Not Bernie, us. We're going to do this. So I will be here for you tomorrow, and we will be streaming tomorrow and updating you on what's going on and following this whole thing. And tomorrow night's Bern, we should be having a celebration. This is going to be epic. This is going to be fantastic. I am very excited for tomorrow. But Jack says thank you all. Man, you leaving? You leaving, Jack? I almost want to just stream all the way till Wednesday morning if I felt like I could make it. But this has been the Daily Burn, and we do this every day at 7. So if you like this, if you like this kind of show and you like hanging out and interactive environment and an inspirational environment, join the page, Our Revolution War Room, or subscribe to the channel if you're here on YouTube and follow this. We have other shows as well, by the way. I should mention, I do a conspiracy theory show every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central, and we hang out and talk about conspiracies and just have fun. I also do a rant show that I'm thinking about bringing back and making more of a regular thing. So that's kind of fun. We just rant about anything that's got us upset, and there's a lot to be upset about in this world. So, that's a little bit of the things we do here on Me on Things and Stuff. So subscribe to the channel. And if you're here on Facebook, I shared the link in the comments to the YouTube channel. Go over and check it out. You may like it. And it's got to be the best channel on YouTube. At least the best channel on YouTube that I've ever created. Jack says, I'm not leaving till you go. Man, you're dedicated. Jack says, the Wolf Pack tonight. Oh, what time does that start? I never know when Tim's on. I try not to compete with him. I do try to avoid streaming when Tim's on because I just feel like we have kind of the same audience, and he's already built his up. I'm just trying to grow, so I'm not going to be able to pull the same kind of people watch Tim that would watch me. So I'm not really going to be able to pull much from Tim Black. These overlaps are excruciating. Oh, Tim is on, huh? Is he live right now? Well, we're doing a marathon. So we're just doing a marathon burn. And don't feel like you have to stay if you'd rather pull away. I just want to remind everybody to just enjoy tomorrow as much as you can, no matter what they try and do. And just fight as much as you can and as hard as you can. Push as hard as you can. And we will make this happen. We will make this a reality. We're going to do this. This is happening. It's happening right now. This is real. This is how change takes place. This is what makes change happen. What you're doing will not be reported on as it's happening, unfortunately, but will be remembered historically as the moment that our country changed course and changed direction and became something that works for the people, something with justice and compassion, something that we can believe in, something that's sustainable, something with an actual future. This is so important. Dale says, I'm here for the duration. Aw, thank you, Dale. I appreciate it. This is so important, what we're doing. And I just can't. I won't be able to sleep tonight. I know I won't. I'm going to try and do my best, but I doubt it. I really doubt I'll be getting much sleep tonight. This is a big night. This is like Christmas Eve, the day before your birthday. Anything big, lots of big stuff, big events, the marriage day, the birth of your children, all rolled into one. This is going to be huge. And we've been waiting so long. I feel like we've been waiting to start voting. And this event tomorrow is going to be magical. This is going to be really cool. But I also think that we're in for some punches in the gut too, and we need to brace ourselves for that. Just remember, it's not going to be enough, whatever they do. Don't let it discourage you. These roadblocks that they're going to throw up, these things that they're going to pull, don't let them discourage you. Because like I said, the only thing that can beat us now is ourself, giving up. We don't give up. We don't stop. This keeps going. And it's not even over once we get Bernie elected. We understand that. That's just one thing we're doing. That's a nuclear strike to the establishment, to the powers that be. It's going to inspire millions of people. It's going to be very big towards moving all of this forward. But it is a small part in a big picture, and we keep working until we get all of this stuff done. That's why. That's exactly why that it's going to happen. That's what's going to make this happen. Dale says, is it just me or is Sean waxing hyperbolic? You know what? I'm going to have to look up what that means. Because I don't know if you're being nice or not. I'm telling the truth. But I want everybody to understand they're not going to give this to us. We're going to have to take this and pull it out of their friggin' claws. They're going to do everything they can to stop us. Everything. Literally everything. We haven't even seen everything they're going to do. But it's not going to be enough. It's not going to work. But thank you guys, everybody that watched tonight, everybody that took part in the show, and the comment section was great. I really appreciate you guys. This has been a great episode. This is exactly what I envisioned for the day before the Super Tuesday burn. You know, I really wanted it to be exciting and motivational and inspiring because we got a big day tomorrow. So keep your mind right. Stay focused. Don't listen. Turn off the media tomorrow. If it's not good quality independent media, don't even look at it. Don't even look at it. You know what? I'll look at it for you. I'll let you know what they're saying. We'll do Know Your Enemy. We'll cover it. But thank you guys. Thank you for hanging out. And thank you to everybody that super chatted over on YouTube. You are amazing, Kathy and Steve, and I really appreciate it. That it means the world to me that people believe in what we're doing and want to see it grow. I can't tell you how much that means to me because I do this because I love it and I love hanging out with you guys. And I just wanted there to be shows like this, so I created them. And the fact that people support it just blows me away. Dale says, what time are we meeting tomorrow? We will meet at our regular time at 7 o'clock, but I am off tomorrow and I feel like I'm going to be streaming a lot. Um, there will be updates during the day for sure. I'm going to be following this, and so follow me on Facebook and check it out because I'm going to be spreading the information as fast as I can pull it in. And I'll probably be doing some live streams to cover different things that are going on and important information that comes across, especially if things pop off. I'm going to be right there waiting to do it, do whatever needs to happen if we need to spread awareness or spread truth. Or I just feel like I need to do everything I can. I'm very excited about tomorrow, and that's all I'm going to be doing anyway, is sitting in front of my computer following what's going on, so I might as well be involving you guys. But we definitely will be on at 7 for the Daily Burn, and it should be a celebratory burn, which I'm looking forward to. That's going to be great to get to actually just let off a little steam. But like I said, don't get complacent, don't get lazy, don't get comfortable. Don't assume we're going to win tomorrow. Let's make sure we win. Do all you can. Push as hard as you can. And we can do this. We can make this happen. We can make this a reality. It will happen because of us. But thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching the Daily Burn tonight. And I will see you tomorrow. We'll be hanging out a bunch tomorrow, I'm sure. But thanks for hanging out, guys. This has been the Daily Burn. I really appreciate every one of you that shared, took part in the show. You guys are great on Facebook and YouTube. We had a great group tonight, and I appreciate all of you. But thanks for hanging out. This has been the Daily Burn. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 for another episode.